lights are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, ricmotech.com.
After 2 weeks off for the Thanksgiving break, the Extreme Motorsports Xfinity Series returns for round number 7, and it is here at the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Speedway, Indiana. Good evening, everybody. My name is Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening. Alongside me tonight, my broadcast partner, Alan Bergen. Alan, Sonoma a couple of weeks ago was dominated by Alex Reling, leading 37 of the 40 laps on offer here tonight. But here at Indianapolis, big racetrack, this Xfinity car is a very tricky one to get around this racetrack with long-term pace.
Yeah, so, you go from the winding road, to the winding road course at Sonoma, and now you're going to be here at Indianapolis. It's a big speedway, big speedway, and these guys are going to have one whale of a time. So we're going from left to right to making all right or all left turns.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the point standings here. We'll update you on the points here. Mike Rominger currently leading the overall point standings by a grand total of 3 points. Now, drivers that have won races are locked into the championship already. Paul Irvin just 4 points behind Mike Rominger, so it's a very, very tight race at the top of the point standings as we get into this 7th round of the season. What isn't as tight, however, is the team point standings, which you're going to see pop up on screen here. Primetime Motorsports right now holding a 64-point lead, or a 54-point lead over Elite Motorsports, Rush Hour Racing, Nicholas Caldwell Racing, Haynes Motorsports, Hutchsport Racing, and Dark Horse Racing. Both Nicholas Caldwell Racing and Hutchsport Racing getting 2 new members to the team, and we will discuss that when they get on track and when we take a look at them, which, by the way, let's jump out onto the racing surface. There is Michael Robinson on track as we're about halfway through this qualifying session here. And right now, Ed Morris sits atop the pile at a 52.86. There's Tommy Haynes, one of the new members, as we had mentioned. He is joining the Hutch Sports team come this race. So halfway through qualifying, and already a pretty decent number of drivers have already laid down a time here.
Yeah, some guys may be playing the strategy of not taking a qualifying lap, riding in the back, and making sure that they stay out of trouble tonight. That's going to be the key. This race can have big point implications.
Absolutely, as we see Tommy Haynes working this second lap here. 4 very individual corners here. They're all shaped the same. However, they all provide very different challenges, as Tommy Haynes crossing the line was 5th. He'll go up to P1 just a little bit quicker than Ed Morris. So Tommy Haynes in his first race this season with a very, very good opening salvo, taking the pole here tonight thus far, as we see Kerry Cleaver coming off of turn number 4.
Yeah, these guys are really going to depend on the draft tonight also. So they're going to really, like I said, they're going to depend on the draft to get down the racetrack pretty fast and effective.
Kerry Cleaver done with his qualifying attempt, 15th quickest, as we'll take a look at Paul Irvin coming out again, coming into this race third in points. Alex Reling did set one lap. Unfortunately, that lap did not count as Irvin turns that Ally Chevrolet into a lawnmower.
Yeah, I guess Roger Penske didn't mow the grass the night before the race, so
Yeah,
he figured he'd mow it for him.
helping out as much as you can. So Reeling set a lap, but he did not set a time, and he wrecked on the second lap. Ed Morris Sr. did not attempt a first lap, so those are the only two that have not set a time, except for Paul Irvin. Josh Wren is out on track right now. 16th quickest is car number 36, running a couple of extra practice laps, and around a racetrack like Indianapolis in these stock cars, not all that bad an idea to try to get as many laps of practice in as you can before we go racing for 90 here tonight.
Yeah, 90 laps is a long time on this racetrack. It's a long way to go, but you got to be patient. Patience is going to be the name of the game tonight.
Absolutely, not just with the race, but with these cars as well, which are known to eat up tires around this racetrack, as Paul Irvin set sail on his first lap. Should be able to get both of these laps in, just over 2 minutes to go. It'll take about, 106 seconds on average, so just shy of 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think you're right on that.
As Irvin through 3 and 4, not keeping it as low as you would want, but again, these Xfinity cars are a very tough thing to handle. So forgive him if they're not quite getting down as low as they need to. He's certainly wheeling that car, though.
Yeah, you certainly don't want to overdrive these cars. These cars are going to be really tight.
Whew.
They're going to start out, they're going to feel nice, like your everyday driving car, and then as you get further on into the run, you're gonna feel tightness in these cars.
Certainly wasn't feeling too tight there. P1 for Paul Irvin at a 52.82, so a very good time for car 48 with nobody else out on track. That will give him provisional pole here for this race. But when you're putting down times like that, you don't necessarily need to get all the way down to the bottom now, do you?
No, he must have found something about a lane and a half up off the inside line there.
See what this 48 car can do here. He was a little bit quicker in the first half of the lap. We'll see what he can do completing the second half. A little bit slower. Still would have put him third. Had the second lap been the one that counted. So with 10 seconds left to go, Paul Irvin makes the first lap count here at Indianapolis. And boy, did he ever lay down a flyer, as car number 48 will start from the pole. As we flip on over into the racing session, we will give you that starting lineup right now, as Paul Irvin, with a time of 52.820, will start on the pole with Tommy Haynes on the outside of row number 1. Ed Morris, just 0.02 of a second off of the front row. He'll have to make do with Rob Haynes on the second row. John Wimbish, another driver who's joining the Hut Sports team, making his season debut here tonight in car number 98. And Nicholas Caldwell in the number 34 will start to the outside of row number 3. Mike Rominger and Gary Wells will make up row 4. Michael Thwaites and Nicholas Weatherby and Nicholas Caldwell Racing pickup. Over the 2-week break, he will start in row number 5. Austin Karp and Jacob Jensen will make up row 6. Row 7 will go to David Colo and Logan Koger. Michael Robinson and Kerry Cleaver will make up row 8. Josh Wren and Alex Reling in row 9. Ed Morris Sr. will be the last car to round out the field here. P19 in row number 10. Reling and Morris starting via their iRating here tonight. Weather conditions here for today's race. We are just past 2 o'clock p.m. in sim time. 73-degree ambient temperature. That's not too bad. However, it's 105 degrees down on the track, which is going to make this racetrack very, very slippery. A westerly 4-mile-an-hour wind here tonight, which will be a crosswind down the straightaways and a tailwind going in between turns 2 and 3. The wind isn't going to be much of a factor there, Alan, but 105-degree track temperature in cars that already don't handle this place all that well. It's going to be a very difficult night as these drivers are going to have their hand full all race.
Yeah, these guys are in for a treat. I tell you what, though, Frank, it is hotter on the track here at Indianapolis than it is in St. Louis, Missouri right now.
See the cars working their way through turns 1 and 2 of this fabled Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Many a race have been held here over its more than 100-year history. An incredible venue for racing, and it's about to get put back on the NASCAR calendar come the 2024 real-life season. No longer running the road course here at Indianapolis starting next year with the Cup Series. They will be running the oval once again. First time in quite some time since we've been running the oval, since we will run the oval for the Cup Series. I'm quite looking forward to that, to be honest.
I am too, but I would look more forward to the Xfinity Series if they went back to IRP.
Yes.
I think that's a very good track for these guys. I mean, they were running IRP with the Truck Series, and then the NASCAR guys were running the Cup Series on the big oval. So
we'll be certainly seeing a lot of IRP over the next week or so with the SCL International Series, both on the super late model and the street stock, as well as the super truck side. But right now we're on the big track. Paul Irvin will lead the field down, coming to the green flag here tonight for the first time. 90 laps here at the Brickyard. We are green.
And Paul Irvin's going to take the field down to the turn number 1, and he's going to take Tommy Haynes with him in the 17 car.
Close battling throughout the middle of the field. Gary Wells in that number 33 machine.
Yeah, Frank, these guys are going to get real spread out here fairly quickly.
Down this back straightaway, everyone trying to get single file as Mike Rominger almost has a battle on his hands. One driver that does is Michael Thwaites, looking at the inside of Nicholas Weatherby in the 44, trying to get up into that 9th spot. As drivers trying to make up that gap, make up that time early. Look at Jacob Jensen go down to make it 3 wide.
Yeah, Jensen's pulling off a pretty gutsy move there in the 64 cars. He's going 3 wide at their number 1 with Thwaites and Weatherby, as he's going to bring this group down the short chute here going into turn 2. There's 4 distinct corners in this racetrack.
It's not that often that you see the outside of 3 wide at Indianapolis be the benefactor, but it certainly was the case for Nicholas Weatherby, as there's Logan Koger in that Allstate number 25 car, looking now to the inside of Jacob Jensen as we head to turn 3. Not quite there. He'll settle into 12th just in front of Austin Karp. Alex Reling already up 4 spots here in the first lap and 3/4.
Yeah, you don't want to try to clear yourself going down one of these straightaways with these cars. There's a huge blind spot in the spoiler, so they really rely on their spotters in these cars.
Front in the next little gap up here, closest pack battle here in the front. Nicholas Caldwell leading this quartet, as I believe Jacob Jensen may have bounced off the wall coming out of turn 1. As Koger really loose on the bottom, able to keep it straight. And this is what we were talking about earlier on. These guys were going to get single file early on, try to suss out these cars and how much they're going to be wiggling around here and waiting until the longer run to try to make moves.
Yeah, you don't want to race too aggressive in the first 10, 20, 30 laps here. You kind of want to watch your P's and Q's, kind of feel the car out, see what you got going on. As we look at the 64 car get loose, of Jacob Jensen. He's been kind of all over the place. He's bounced it off the wall a couple times. He almost got into the 12 with White as they go down the front straightaway and hit turn number 1.
Also had that big 3 wide move there earlier on lap 1. So the 64 trying to make up ground here early on, not missing anything up front. Paul Irvin currently leading this race, out in front by a half a second over Tommy Haynes. Rob Haynes, no relation as far as I could tell, there between the two. Running second and third. Ed Morris running in the 4th spot. Nicholas Caldwell up in 5th. As points leader Mike Rominger trying to work on the 98 of John Wimbish.
Yeah, these guys are, let's see, Mike Rominger's coming down I understand he won in Sonoma last week on the road course. So
No,
he's
that was Alex Reling in the 1. That was
Reling,
who won
okay.
a couple of weeks ago.
And so, I mean, these guys are, have to change their mindset a little bit. I mean, it's 90 laps. It's still a long way to go in this race. As you see, Rominger working on the 98 of Wimbish there, and he's trying to he's minding his P's and Q's as you're on board with Rominger, looking out the windshield there.
Mike Rominger does have a win this season in that number 4, and I'll get back to you in a little bit where that was. As battle a little bit further back once again. Right around Jacob Jensen is Logan Koger looking for a way around, and he's getting a push from Austin Karp in the 19, trying to work their way up into the top 10.
Yeah, these guys are in a pretty heavy battle right now. As Koger, you're watching Koger on your screen, and the 25 of Koger is doing everything he can not to run over Jacob Jensen. He's going to look to the inside on the straightaway, but he's got no help, so he's hoping to get back in the line before they get to turn 3 there. And
try to outbrake him, which is what he does, as Koger slides up just
good job.
Boy, what a move there by Koger, as Austin Karp now looking to the inside. And Karp, big contact with the wall there from Jacob Jensen.
Yeah, he can't do that too many more times or he's going to ruin the aerodynamics on that race car.
See the number 1 of Alex Reling. Watch, see right there above the front wheel well, he's got a big dent in that hood. He's been in the wall as well, has Reling. That was a big hit he must have had. That's a lot of damage there.
Yeah, that's going to hurt the aerodynamics on that car. That car's been a handful since the drop the green flag. So they might have to go into the pit area and work on it on their scheduled pit stop.
Stage break will be at the completion of lap number 30 here tonight. So it'll be a 30-lap stage.
So Frank, he might be trying to, Jensen might be trying to ride that out until the end of the stage break. He's maybe trying to make it to lap 30, then he can make some adjustments on that race car to get it better for the rest of the race.
While we were riding on board there with Alex Reling, David Killough in the 38 got around Jacob Jensen as well.
Yeah, Jacob Jensen's losing wholesale positions right now as he's got a mirror full of Mike Robinson going down the back straightaway, and that car does not look comfortable as we're back on riding with Paul Irvin, which nothing's changed there except for the 17 of Tommy Haynes going after Rob Haynes.
Battle for second here on your screen between Rob and Tommy Haynes. And it's going to be Rob Haynes, the one who is going to benefit from this.
Yeah, Tom Haynes right there in that 3rd spot. And you got the 99 car of Rob Haynes there. I love the chrome wheels on that Toyota, man. I just love the chrome wheels on that thing.
It does make them pop out quite a bit, doesn't it?
It does, man. You know, it reminds me of the Michael Waltrip racing cars.
Yeah.
Michael Waltrip always had the chrome wheels.
It's not a mandate, by the way, for real NASCAR at least. There's no mandate as to which color the wheels have to be. Most drivers just choose to leave them black. Ed Morris with the red rims in car number 7. Running in the 4th spot, trying to hunt down the 2 Hayneses.
Yeah, everybody's minding their P's and Q's through 9 laps. I mean, right now they're feeling out the cars and seeing what adjustments they need to make, seeing what their car is going to feel like in the long run. But really, no, like real aggressive moves going on.
Well, there really hasn't been. As we're working lap 10, here goes Michael Thwaites, trying to get the position back from the 98 of Wimbish. As Wimbish now stuck on that outside line, and with the way these cars react through these corners, it's a lot like a short track, like a Martinsville, or we saw last night with the SCL series at the Nashville Fairgrounds. Once you get on the outside, it's kind of difficult to get back down to the bottom where you really need to be. So you end up waiting for the freight train to go by on that bottom line, as Austin Carp now will get the move done going through turn 2, and now Wimbish can get back down to the bottom.
Yeah, it's almost like they hung Wimbish out to dry there, as you were talking about the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway last night, which was a very good race here on Sim Racing Media.
Tommy Haynes getting back past Rob Haynes. Ed Morris now trying to be the one to hang out Rob Haynes, as Nicholas Caldwell and Mike Rominger have worked their way up into this battle. Caldwell peaking, trying to make it 3 wide. Mike Rominger peaking as well, as those two will go side by side. Rominger keeps the momentum on the high line. He will get around Caldwell in that 34. Ed Morris makes the pass on the bottom going into turn 1. Rominger on the outside makes the pass going into turn 1.
Yeah, and that pass is good for 2 spots for Rominger, as he's trying to make some things happen out there. We're about 3/4. We're almost halfway through the stage here, so these guys are going to start ramping up the aggression to get them stage points that they need.
Start to see now some of the drivers that have worked their way and tried to save these tires, as compared to those who have really tried to push and move forward. As Rominger starting to put down very, very good lap times. Same exact lap time as the leader last time by, as a matter of fact, as Rominger looks to the inside of Rob Haynes, just barely does get under him in time. A little bit of contact forces the 99 sideways, and now both Rominger and Caldwell will get through going into turn 2.
Yeah, and Haynes might have not liked that, the way he raced, the way Rominger got by him, but nonetheless, he still got by him, and they're off. Haynes is riding, or Rominger's off riding to the sunset there in 4th position.
May not like it, but he also may not have the tire to do anything about it just yet, as Rob Haynes has gone from 2nd all the way down to 6th here in the last couple of laps, as Paul Irvin continues to lead by a little bit under a second for car number 48, as Irvin has led from the jump here. A little bit further back, David Collot looks to the inside of John Wimbish, and Collot gets the spot.
Yeah, I like that pass. That was a good textbook pass going into the corner that Kellogg made on Wimbish.
Everybody out. Good.
I was going to mention the 38 car is going to stretch out as he's going to go after Austin Carp.
Also stretching out could be thanks to him saving the tires a little bit. He's not one of the drivers that has moved up quite a bit. Wimbish by far is the biggest loser thus far, down 7 from where he started, about to be down 8 as Michael Robinson looks to the inside. As Robinson will now get the spot, and Reling has been kind of stuck there in that 13th, 14th position ever since he's gotten around Jacob Jensen. Now will try to pin Wimbish to the outside again.
Yeah, and you might see these drivers start backing their corner up a little bit, maybe letting out a little earlier. As you see, the 8 car got a little squirrely there. See, he almost at the wall.
It's going to be a momentum killer for Robinson, as Reling will get the spot. Jacob Jensen now looking to the inside in the number 64. He'll get the spot on Wimbish, not so much on Robinson. Again, this is all outside the top 10. This is 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th all here on your screen right now, as Wimbish once again falls to the back of the line as Robinson gets a lot better run than Reling does coming out of turn 4. Robinson back to the spot, and now Jacob Jensen looking for it again, and will get it.
Yeah, Reling is losing spots because he bounced off the wall earlier, and everybody just went by him. We almost had trouble there with Jensen.
Jensen was turning right to go left in turn 1.
That's what we call dirt tracking, my friend.
Absolutely. Logan Koger may have helped him out there a little bit, as we'll jump a little bit further ahead. This is Nicholas Weatherby in the 44, trying to hold back Gary Wells, Michael Thwaites, and Austin Karp, as Thwaites looks to the inside. As a couple of drivers coming in, Paul Irvin, Rob Haynes, both coming down pit road, as is the 8 of Robinson.
Yeah, this would be the time that you expect these guys to come down pit road and grab 4 tires and some Sunoco fuel and get ready for the end of the stage.
Hand the lead of the race over to Mike Rominger, who was able to get past both Ed Morris and Tommy Haynes. So your points leader currently sitting out front. Not a full fuel fill in these cars, by the way, which is why you're seeing pit stops somewhat early from what you would normally see them, say, in another series or an official series. As Rominger doing a great job, really starting to stretch that lead out, as Nicholas Caldwell will come down pit road, as will Nicholas Weatherby. Watch it. Oh! Weatherby gained a lot of time.
This pit road is so tricky. And I'm betting, if I'm a betting man, I assume they got to take the access road all the way over to the back straightaway.
They will have to do that, as this is different from the IndyCar pit road here. Oops, I said the Forbidden Series, my bad. This is different from the IR18 pit road here at Indianapolis, as Tommy Haynes gets under and around Ed Morris. Jump on board here with Tommy Haynes here really quick. See if he comes down pit road here. He will not. Neither will Ed Morris. But the IR18 pit road line is inside the wall. Here, let's jump on board real quick. There's Reling. I believe he's going to get a penalty. But right here, that line there, that is the pit entry line. That's where pit road speed starts for the IR18s. Not for the Cup cars, not for the stock cars. They start outside of pit road.
And that skirmish coming on the pit road for the one car of Alex Reling really hurt his race car.
Caught that inside wall. I'm sure he got a speeding penalty as well. If he didn't, I'll be stunned.
Yeah, this track's big enough you're going to be able to overcome 1 or 2 penalties maybe, and then you'll have that lucky dog to fall back on.
Gary Wells coming into pit road, surrendering the 5th spot. Kerry Cleaver will do the same behind him in 8th. As again, you see how different it is. Again, right that line he just crossed over. That's the pit entry line for the IR18s.
As you're watching Tommy Haynes coming down the back straightaways, he's got a drafting partner in Ed Morris Jr., and they are going to carry this race down into turn number 3 as they head down to short shoot there. And it looks like Morris is going to try to make a look to the inside.
Haynes got really wide there in turn 3, not where you want to be. Ask J.R. Hildebrand what it's like getting offline here at Indianapolis. As Mike Rominger leading this race by 1.5 seconds, and he has built that lead quite nicely. As still the top 6 cars, Rominger, Haynes, Morris, Karp, Thwaites, and Jensen, have yet to pit. Here is Paul Irvin, who pit from the race lead on lap 16. He is currently 36 seconds behind your race leader, Mike Rominger. However, he is running 2 seconds a lap faster than Rominger is. Irvin last time around did a 53.39. Rominger a 55.37. So that is big advantage for the drivers on new tires.
Yeah, Frank, I believe that the at the stage break, the running order should cycle back through once we get to the stage break and everybody gets sorted out back in line, because the guys that didn't pit will probably pit now, as we were watching Jacob Jensen come in for his pit stop, first pit stop of the night.
So Jensen, the last of the drivers that have not yet pit, he will come down pit road. So once again, Ed Morris is not letting Tommy Haynes go here in the number 17. You see the lap time history, they've been almost identical over the last couple of laps. That lap 18, they were side by side there for a little bit. But these two very evenly matched right here in car number 17 and car 7.
Yeah, and the gap between Rominger and all the way back to Paul Irvin is almost a half a second.
Battle a little bit further back. David Collot trying to defend from Michael Robinson, as Jacob Jensen will join this battle, get out in front. Warm tires, up to speed for Collot and Robinson, 3 wide. Jensen will fall in line behind. And Robinson, both of those drivers really drove it deep into turn 3, but Collot is going to weather the storm here, at least for the moment. Yeah,
so you're riding with Robinson there, trying to get back in line, trying to mind his speed cues, as he's got a rear view mirror full of Logan Coger, as Coger's going to look to the inside and try to make the pass going into 1.
Coger had the run coming out of turn number 4.
And it looks like Robinson's going to try to cross him over, but he can't do it.
No, he cannot. Race leaders are in. The entirety of the top 5 is in. Rominger, Haynes, Morris, Karp, Thwaites, all 5 drivers that had not yet come into pit are in now. So that should turn the order back over. Paul Irvin should be in the race lead. Be very interested to see, losing 2 seconds a lap, where these drivers will end up.
Yeah, by the time this pit stop cycle comes through, they should be just about where they started at, if not a couple positions maybe ahead or a couple of positions maybe behind.
Tommy Haynes is going to win the race off of pit road. Pardon me, Austin Karp is going to win the race off of pit road. I believe Karp took 2 tires there, knowing that they are going to have to pit again under the stage break. Everyone should be coming in during the stage break at least. And Austin Karp will jump out in 5th spot. Tommy Haynes goes from 2nd back to 9th. And Rominger goes from the race lead to 10th. That is how much tires mean here at Indianapolis in these Xfinity cars.
Rominger going into the inside of Haynes for the 9th position.
Paul Irvin and Mike Rominger, the only 2 that have led laps here tonight, as this battle will now resume. Kilo versus Koger. As Koger looking to the inside. Oh, a little bit of contact. Somehow Koger keeps it straight. We stay green. What a save by both of them.
Man, that was a great save. And this is why these guys here are in this series. This is why they have the 2000 I ratings, the B license, the A license, because of talent right there you just saw.
What a job. As now Koger going to try to do it again, this time with a little bit less contact. As Kilo just about catches the wall coming out of 3. Still side by side, still Kilo able to withstand. Boy, blocking him all the way down to the inside wall. He wants those top 5 stage points.
Yeah, you're going to see the aggression level pick up as these guys are nearing the end of the stage 1, and we got 4 laps to go on this stage.
And look who's appeared. Mike Rominger. Car number 4 has worked his way all the way back up through this, and both of them sliding, both Koger and Kilo. Insert Rominger into this. He's going to pass them both down the back straightaway.
That, my friend, is what we call a pass in the grass.
Oh!
As these guys are just getting after it.
Koger and Kilo with more contact. Now there goes Robinson.
We're going to have trouble. We're going to have trouble. Hey, we got a spinner. We got a spinner of Robinson.
Keeping it straight, though, and off of the racing line, so no caution for Robinson. As now Kilo's not done. He still has to worry about Ed Morris there trying to get around him.
Wow. Did anybody tell these guys that they were on a super speedway and not a short track?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to the green and white checkered flag, not the black and white one either. Ed Morris should get around Koger here pretty fair-handedly. Let's go back and take a look at this. What a job by these drivers just a couple of laps ago to get through and do this.
I think they wrecked like 10 times in that whole series of events.
There's the contact between Koger and Kilo. That's the first bit of contact. Then, coming down same corner, next lap, they're going to do it again. Or just about. There's Rominger coming in. Kilo tries to go up and under. Doesn't quite work. They're both pushing. Both into the wall. Rominger goes through. Just clips the grass on the inside. And then I'm sure no love lost between the 25 and 38. They make more contact going into turn 3. Kilo goes up the racetrack and then back down into Michael Robinson.
Yeah, that was almost bad for Robinson. And it looks like we're getting ready to go under the stage point. There's a stage break here.
2 laps to go here in the stage. Paul Irvin leads by 5.5 seconds over Nicholas Caldwell. It's a battle for third here between Rob Haynes and Nicholas Weatherby. And lost in that, as you mentioned. Great job by Michael Robinson, by the way, to keep it off of that inside wall. He did a fantastic job there. That could have been race over for him.
Yeah, these cars are so sensitive. That could have been race over. At least 10-minute repair if he goes out onto the wall.
Michael Thwaites to the inside of Logan Koger. Again, Thwaites coming in with the late pit stop, and now Kilo and Koger back together again, this time for 8th. Koger has it. I'm sure Kilo wants it.
Yeah, you see these guys going after it again. Koger and Kilgo not done yet.
See what they give us here down the back straightaway. I'm sure this is going to be good. Colo is being left the outside line. It's not the line you want around these corners. Colo with the big deep dive.
And
everything looks clean, at least for the moment, but right there, that is Paul Irvin. He will win the stage here tonight. Oh, around in the back, they both went.
oh, tough break. Tough break.
Well, just as we take our eye off of them for a second, and around they go. It was the end of the stage, or it was coming to the end of the stage anyway. Well,
And
go ahead.
unless they have a fast repair, I think their night is done.
I don't believe they do. Let's go back and take a look. I mean, once again, we just take our eye off them for half a second, and away they go. Saw here back in turn 3 and 4. There's 3. This is where we picked up Irvin right here. Through 4, Koger on the bottom, pushes up, into the wall they go. That's just tough racing.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in the car though, it almost seemed like that Koger got drove into the wall there.
It certainly will. And I'm sure with the contact that they made earlier on, it's not going to feel like it was just tough racing. As watch, Logan Koger is going to take a huge hit here at the end of the pit wall. Hopefully we get the long shot here.
Yeah.
See, there it is. Gets pushed down. Car bounces off and then bam, right into the end of the pit wall. That's a hard hit.
Yeah, and these guys run so much force feedback in their wheels that I don't, if I hit the wall a couple times and I almost have to Danica Patrick myself when I hit the wall. I let go of the wheel and I start singing "Jesus Take the Wheel."
Let's ride on board here with Logan Koger. There's David Colo, just off the outside. It's all fair and friendly here. It's not going to be here in just a moment. Trying to push. Around he goes. Watch for the wall. Ow.
Yeah, like I said, that was a tough break for both these guys. They were racing pretty hard, and I mean that's just the unfortunate side of racing. You're gonna have those nights where it just doesn't go your way.
So everybody down onto pit road. Stage is done. Paul Irvin is your stage winner. The Knoxville, Tennessee native will look to lead the field down for the final 55 laps here tonight at Indianapolis. We will bring them to you when we return.
Allow extreme scoring to do the work for you.
Ricmotech high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Ricmotech has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here. featuring oval playoffs, adjust drivers per round, custom number of rounds, custom playoff points, provisionals, optional win and you're in, custom playoff displays, rookie championships, optional minimum participation, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
Back here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, about to begin stage number 2 here at the Brickyard. Paul Irvin from pole takes the stage win. Only he and Mike Rominger have led laps here tonight. Green flag set to come out. There it is. We are back in racing again here at Indy.
And Paul Irvin's going to lead the field down in turn number 1 with Nicholas Caldwell and tow. And Rob Haynes is going to be riding in position number 3 as Paul Irvin has jumped out to another lead where he's been all night.
Looks like Ed Morris has had a moment. Nicholas Weatherby battling with Tommy Haynes. John Wimbish there as well. Wimbish in that highlighter and black-nosed number 98 car. All 3 debutants, by the way, here in this series, Weatherby, Haynes, and Wimbish. As Haynes able to hold that outside line just barely. Won't be able to do that for too much longer here tonight as Mike Rominger looks to the inside of Austin Karp.
Yeah, there's another battle. They're trying to duplicate Kate Kill and Coker, and they're trying to go around. They said, hey, if we can do this, you guys can do it, we can do it better.
Both David Calo and Logan Koger are both trying to repair those cars down on pit road. Let's take a look and see what happened. This is off the start with Ed Morris, who had a moment. Oops, 36 came down across him. That's Josh Wren in the 36. That came across his nose, and that put Morris back in 16th.
The good thing is he didn't hit nothing, and Koger's fun meter has been pegged out for the night.
So Logan Koger is done here, done after 30 laps, done at the completion of the first stage. As Paul Irvin continues to lead here at Indianapolis, came in 3rd place in points. 4 points off of the points leader, Mike Rominger. He will certainly have the points lead now based off of stage points. Alex Reling, by the way, did get a speeding penalty for that pit road entry that we were on board with earlier on. Was a lap down, got his lap back, came down pit road right at the start of this set, right at the green flag. You may have seen it in the background. Came in, got tires, came back out, and is now about to be put another lap down. Good news for him, though. He's the only driver 1 lap down.
Yeah, so he's automatically in line for that lucky dog. And Paul Irvin has been putting on a clinic all night long. He says, school's in session. I'm going to show you how to get around this place.
Nobody has passed Paul Irvin on track for the race lead here this evening. Mike Rominger did lead some laps, but that was after Irvin came down pit road.
Yeah, Paul Irvin's just hauling the mail, and I don't think anybody's going to have anything for him unless someone can mount a run late.
It's going to have to be on a long run as well, as Mike Rominger will slot in behind Austin Karp once again. And for Rominger, it took a good 10 to 15 laps before that number 4 car really started to move forward. So we're starting to get towards that window where he's going to start moving that number 4 Chevy Camaro back up towards the front.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. And he looks like him and Karp are working really well. He keeps, putting little peeks out there and kind of, letting him know he's there and letting him know he's kind of looking, but I don't think he's going to abandon him just yet.
Irvin leading by 1.2 seconds here. Then we have two different pairs of racing. Nicholas Caldwell versus Rob Haynes. We saw how far Rob Haynes dropped off of the pack at the end of the first run prior to the pit stops. So we'll see if he's made the in-car adjustments that he needs to make in order to last a little bit longer. Then it's going to be Karp versus Rominger. Weatherby versus Tommy Haynes. Now this is the group 6th and 7th. These two have been ever slowly catching Austin Karp and Mike Rominger, trying to get back up into the mix.
Yeah, these guys have been running fairly well, fairly clean all night. A lot of these guys are just doing that tandem drafting, tandem racing, minding their P's and Q's right at the start of the stage 2. As we're almost 5 laps into the stage coming up.
So these two currently running in the 6th and 7th position. Then you look back, and it's another pair, Tommy Haynes and John Wimbish. Wimbish in the 9th, John Wimbish and Jacob Jensen, pardon me. As Jensen, we saw how much fun he was having earlier on, has kind of calmed it down a little bit in that number 64, as it appears as though the front groups have converged from 3 2-car groups now to effectively one big 6-car group.
Yeah, you know what they say, 8 wheels are better than 4.
Absolutely. As taking a look through, Paul Irvin, by the way, as we look through, Paul Irvin has not won a race yet this season. We have had 6 different winners out of 6 different races this season. So Paul Irvin, if he could get the win, not only would lock himself into the championship battle, but will also continue that string, as we will have 7 from 7. Darlington coming up next week. Then it'll be Kansas the week after that. A week off for a 50-50 race on December 19th. Another week off for Christmas and New Year's before the first race of the new year, January 2nd, 2024, Talladega Superspeedway, and then running pretty much straight on through to the end of the season.
Yeah, these guys have. It's kind of good and kind of bad that these guys will have so many off days. But I mean, we're running around the holidays also, and there's a lot of chances for these guys to go run other leagues and go practice and run other competition.
A lot of these drivers will also be, as far as leagues go, typically we're seeing a lot of leagues wrapping up. I know at least for SRM here, we've got the Sunday Night NASCAR Series is already done. The Moonshiners Racing League is done, as we see Rob Haynes will start the train under Nicholas Caldwell. Austin Karp now trying to follow suit to get up into third, and I'm sure Mike Rominger will be a keen observer there with the 19 already lining up behind him.
I think Rominger's making a strategy move, just kind of being there with them, and then waiting to pounce. He almost got into Caldwell.
Yeah, Caldwell slammed the door on Rominger. He said, no. Yeah, 2 spots is enough. I'm not losing any more. As Rominger will have to hold station right now. One driver who's not content to hold station, Tommy Haynes, looked to the inside of Weatherby. Didn't quite have enough mustard to make the move. One driver who did, Michael Thwaites, gets around John Wimbish. That was for the 9th spot.
Yeah, as you're looking at Michael Thwaites right there, John Wimbish, I don't know what happened to the car. He had a strong car at the beginning of the race, but it's kind of fallen off a little bit here on the back half of this race.
Paul Irvin, take a look at him up front. His lead was up to as much as 1.4 seconds here earlier on. Take a look at the gap down to Rob Haynes, as Haynes now has brought that back down to 3/4 of a second. You can pretty much tell what lap Haynes got around Caldwell in. That gap really started to close back into the 48.
Yeah, you just got to wonder here at lap 45 with roughly 50 to go. He's starting to close in. He's starting to eat away at that gap.
Halfway through, and you can see Paul Irvin now starting to try to break that draft. Hasn't had to do that in quite some time, as Irvin now under some serious pressure here. He's lost 0.8 of a second over the last couple laps. So take a look at the lap times. Yeah, you can see it. 1/10, almost 2.5, 2/10, 3/10 that last time around since Rob Haynes was able to get around Nicholas Caldwell.
Yeah, Rob Haynes is closing in, and he's trying to bring Austin Karp with him. Austin Karp is trying to make this a party as they come through the short chute. And you got Rominger trying to make a move on Caldwell. And Caldwell keeps shutting the door on him. And the Long John Silver sponsored number 34.
This is right around the time where Rominger really started to pick up the pace and really started to move forward through the field. So Rominger is certainly going to be a guy to contend with here over the next couple of laps or so. If Caldwell can keep that 4 car behind him, wonder what that will do to the tires for Rominger.
Yeah, right now Caldwell is driving the wheels off of that car, doing everything he can, making that car 3-4 lanes wide, trying to keep Rominger right behind him. And Rominger's giving him a handful.
Got him that
he's
time.
He's trying to make a move.
Looks to the inside.
Is he going to clear?
Yes, he will. Mike Rominger, and you heard there the engine. He outweighted him. Let that car roll a little bit longer than Caldwell did. Was able to hang that inside a little bit longer. Got the better run off the corner. Rominger up into P4 in car number 4.
And now Rominger's going to put a full court press on Austin Karp going down short chute there.
Big slide there out of Rominger as well. Paul Irvin continues to lead here in this race, but it has gotten quite close. Almost the entirety of the top 10 is right up in a line here. Top 9 cars separated by 3.5 seconds. Look a little bit further back. Here is Ed Morris, who certainly has the pace to be up towards the front. But again, we saw that incident right at the start between himself and Josh Wren that knocked the 7 down into the access road on the restart, knocking him to the back of the field. Ed Morris now trying to make a pass on Michael Robinson to get him up into the 11th spot.
Yeah, this is a great battle between Morris and Wells right now, as they are they're battling pretty hard. And here comes the Robinson, Morris, and Wells are trying to make this three-way battle for the 13th or 12th, 11th, and 12th, 13th spot there, and trying to get to 11. As you're going to see Ed Morris Jr. making a move on Robinson, he's going to get him cleared. It's worth another spot.
There goes Ed Morris, and now the question is going to be, with the draft, will he be able to break it and start to get away? Now, he's about 5 seconds off of John Wimbish, who's in the 10th spot, so he's certainly going to need a caution. But will the pace of Morris be able to break him away as this battle up here at the front starting to get good? Rob Haynes within striking distance of Irvin. Rominger within striking distance of Karp. Weatherby in striking distance of Nicholas Caldwell.
Yeah, at the beginning of this race, we thought Irvin was untouchable, but here comes Rob Haynes, the Canadian driver, in that number 99 Toyota. He's going to put a lot of pressure on that 48 car going forward.
Paul Irvin has enjoyed the lead again. He has not been passed on track for that race lead here tonight. Stage winner was Paul Irvin, but right now he has a very, very close tail in Rob Haynes. Irvin's going to give Haynes the outside line. Haynes a little bit of a wiggle there going into turn one. He's going to have to dive back in and reset.
Yeah, I think, Frank, that the Haynes is going to not really push the issue. He's going to put pressure on him and try to force the mistake out of Irvin. But I think Irvin's going to, as you see, he pulls away just a little tiny bit going down the straightaways. But Haynes is going to catch him going to the corner, and he's going to bring Austin Karp with him.
Austin Karp got a very good run on that 99. Once again, Rominger able to stay a little bit lower. Battle for the lead here between these four drivers. Irvin, Haynes, Karp, and Rominger. As into the pits go Nicholas Caldwell and Nicholas Weatherby. So both the 34 and the 44 coming down pit road. Rominger looking to the inside of Austin Karp, can't quite make the move.
Yeah, this is a real tight battle between the top four. You got Irvin, Haynes, Karp, and Rominger really battling it out here. They're just in a tight battle, and this is going to be having points implications as this battle goes on.
Rominger in as the points leader here tonight. Both Rominger and Karp have wins on this season. Paul Irvin and Rob Haynes both do not. Rominger looking to the inside. I believe that was Tommy Haynes in the background there. Coming down pit road, both Irvin and Rob Haynes trying to break the draft. Rominger gets a good run coming out of turn 4. He'll take over the third spot.
Yeah, and Karp was going to try to cross him over, but he didn't have it. As Rominger's got his sights set on Haynes, and Haynes got his sights set on Irvin. Irvin better watch out. He's under a two-car attack.
Absolutely. As Paul Irvin continues to try to snake through and try to put as much of a gap between himself and that Toyota Supra behind him. Right now, Irvin is going to come down pit road. So Irvin will surrender the race lead to come down pit road. That will leave Haynes, Rominger, and Karp out in front. And Rob Haynes, for the first time tonight, will get a lap led.
And Rominger's going to look to the inside. He's going to try to be really aggressive. As you see the front end on that 4-car start to slide around. These cars are going to get looser. The tires are starting to fall off, so these guys are going to have to start backing their corners up.
It's 22 laps that Paul Irvin did on that set of tires and fuel, so one more stop is going to be required here tonight in order to make it to the finish. There goes Rominger for the race lead. Mike Rominger on Rob Haynes, car number 4, back to the front. Austin Karp trying to follow his way through. He will do just that. Rob Haynes in 2 corners goes from first to third, but he'll get it right back as Rominger and Karp both come down pit road.
Yeah, this might be a strategy call. They might have worked out this plan to go with each other, to have Karp go with Rominger. That way they come out with, the way Rominger comes out with a drafting partner.
Not too bad to get passed by 2 different cars in 2 different corners. And then just right as you're about to give up hope and go, man, these tires must really be going off. What did I do wrong? Have them come off and pit and say, man, must be lucky.
Yeah, I think Haynes is probably going to try to come down this time by, or maybe next time by. We don't really know what his fuel strategy is right now, but I firmly believe he's going to come down within the next lap or 2. They get a pit stop.
Yep, you hear how slow he is coming through turn 4, so it will be a pit stop for Rob Haynes. Jacob Jensen will follow suit. He will come down pit road. Here is Gary Wells. He is going to come down pit road. Kerry Cleaver will do the same. Ed Morris Sr. will be the one to stay out, so car number 5 will take over the race lead. Out in front, though, it will be these 2, Nicholas Caldwell and Nicholas Weatherby. These 2 will cycle out to the front. They have a 2.5-second lead over Paul Irvin. We are just about 2/3 of this race down, 1/3 to go, and we'll bring it to you right after this break. You're watching the Extreme the Extreme Motorsports Xfinity Series right here on Sim Racing Media.
Ricmotech high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Ricmotech has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com. Ricmotech high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here. Featuring oval playoffs, adjust drivers per round, custom number of rounds, custom playoff points, provisionals, optional win and you're in, custom playoff displays, rookie championships, optional minimum participation, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
Back here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, there you see 2.5 miles of racing and motorsport history, as well as some golf history there. 4 holes inside of the backstretch here at Indianapolis. Holes 7, 8, 9, and 10 before getting back out of the boundaries of this beautiful racing facility. As we get you back to a change for the lead. Paul Irvin back out front here at Indianapolis. You saw him during the break chase down Nicholas Caldwell and Nicholas Weatherby. He has now taken over that race lead. Mike Rominger appears to be coming up soon for the 34 and the 44.
Yeah, Frank, I'm not much of a golfer. I probably slice the ball a lot, but right now Paul Irvin has pretty much hit a hole in one on this setup that he's got in his car right now.
He absolutely has. As Paul Irvin continues to waltz through this field, around this racetrack, he has led by far and away the most laps here tonight. Everybody will need to make one more pit stop in order to make it through the 90 laps. Here is the pit strategy for the top 10. As you can see, Caldwell and Weatherby both coming in on lap 51, and you see where that is helping them right now. They were able to get up front, lead a couple of laps, but now coming under fire just about 10 or so laps since coming down pit road, but unfortunately for them, they're going to have to pit a lot sooner than with 10 to go.
Yeah, Rominger and Haynes are putting a lot of pressure on Caldwell right now. As you see, Rominger making the move on Caldwell going into 3, and he's bringing Haynes with him. And it's a 2-for-1 special.
Got past Weatherby through turn 2, gets through Nicholas Caldwell in turn 3. And now they will set their sights on Paul Irvin, who's 0.3 of a second ahead. And for Mike Rominger, once again, we're getting back to that time where his car really starts to come to life. 11 laps into the run now is Mike Rominger. Paul Irvin's a little bit deeper into his run. But Rominger right now, this is where that 4 car really starts to earn its money.
Oh yeah, it's almost like they set that car up for the long run, and he knew he was going to be essentially a dumpster fire on the short runs. But the deeper, like you said, the deeper we get in this run, the better his car gets.
Austin Karp getting past Nicholas Weatherby. That will move him back up into the top 5. Karp, another fixture in the top 10 here tonight. Nicholas Caldwell looking to be the next, as Karp will roll up to the back of that number 34, and Rominger has very significantly rolled up to the back of Paul Irvin, so much so Irvin once again trying to break that draft, the classic Indy snake that we see around this place.
Yeah, you can see that they do that, the classic Indy snake, as they come out of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. And you can see Irvin trying to make that car about 4 lanes wide right now, and just Rominger's there, man. He caught him. He's there. I wouldn't be surprised to see a move getting made pretty soon.
Irvin has shown to have a lot of speed, but Rominger has had the pace here tonight. He's been able to pace himself in the short run, and it has paid off on the long run, as Rominger following Paul Irvin all the way down to the inside wall. He's now going to get back up to the outside. Not quite close enough to Irvin to make a move going into turn 1 this time. This place, it's very quick, but you need to run this place like a road course. Set up coming out of turn 2 and 4 to make a pass going into 1 or 3.
Yeah, Rominger, he's ran a smart race. And he's trying to put enough pressure on Irvin, not so much to wreck him, but so much to get him to make a mistake. kind of move him up the racetrack a little bit, maybe. But I mean, we're setting up for a great finish here for tonight.
Seeing Mike Rominger right up to the back of Paul Irvin, as Irvin's been content to run about 3/4 of a car width higher than Rominger has been. Rominger's been right down on those rumble strips, right down by the grass, all race long. Irvin is a little bit further up than that, and it's worked for both of these guys. Rominger's been able to pull up, make some moves. Meanwhile, Paul Irvin's been able to pull out and lead this race.
Yeah, right now, Rominger is not an ally to Paul Irvin. As you see them both going down the back straightaways, Rominger's going to look to the inside and make the move. He's going to go down for the pass and slingshot past the 48 car of Irvin, as he's going to try to clear him into turn 3, and he clears them.
It's a benefit there for Rominger, as now Paul Irvin's going to look to launch a counterattack. And he will get to the inside. Irvin a little bit loose, not quite there anymore. So Rominger out to the race lead, and for the first time tonight, going to lap 69, Paul Irvin has been passed on track for the race lead, as Rominger now will look to set sail.
And this has got huge points implications right now, as you're looking at Paul Irvin trying to figure out what he needs to do to get that lead back, as you're on board with Irvin, looking at the back end of Rominger's car. And you can see that line. He's making that car almost 3 lanes wide.
Trying to break that draft. And again, you can see just a little bit higher, about 1/4 of a lane to 1/2 a lane higher, is what Paul Irvin's running compared to Rominger. Now Irvin gets down low. This is a point where just because you got passed, as Nicholas Caldwell and Nicholas Weatherby both come in again, just because you got passed doesn't mean it's time to give up. Sometimes all you need to do is go to school, copy the line of the driver in front of you. Maybe you can figure something out that they've figured out.
Yeah, he obviously Rominger definitely found something and put the move on the Paul Irvin there to get the lead. But I tell you what, Rominger is already widening the gap on Irvin right now.
54.87 for Rominger last time around. 55.21, nearly 1/2 second quicker from Mike Rominger. From Paul Irvin was Mike Rominger.
Yeah, and that's what the eyeball test showed too.
It's got a big gap now, 0.7 of a second, as we are now down to 20 laps to go here at Indianapolis. And now it is starting to spread out, but the game is going to be coming out of the pit stops. Here is Nicholas Caldwell and Nicholas Weatherby both coming out of the pits. They are both going to be 1 and 2 when the pit stops cycle through, and they are both going to be about 2 seconds a lap quicker than Rominger and Irvin until they come down pit road. So the question would be for these guys up here, do you respond or do you run your own strategy?
I think you run your own strategy. I think these guys are going to be more proactive than reactive in this case.
Saw it only took them about 10 laps as Michael Thwaites dips into pit road. You also saw Jacob Jensen hit the wall coming out of turn 4. Ed Morris coming down pit road as well with Tommy Haynes. And Tommy Haynes looks like he's in a little bit of distress in that number 17. Wonder what happened to him.
Yeah, it looks like he might have tagged the wall somewhere or got into somebody.
It's the inside of the car as well. So, got loose coming out of that's 3. Oh, that's a couple of really hard hits for Tommy Haynes.
Yeah, and he's been a solid car all night. Who knows what happened? His screen might have went black. He might have an internet issue that we don't know about, but that's definitely going to be a tough break for Tommy Haynes.
Certainly is. As Mike Rominger comes down the front straightaway.
He has really opened that gap right on up on Paul Irvin right now.
Certainly has 1.4 seconds. This is the biggest lead of the race that somebody has been able to generically grow. Paul Irvin had the biggest lead of the race just before the stage break at about 5.5 seconds. However, that was thanks to the pit cycle. Mike Rominger has pulled out this 1.4 second lead that he had. Now it's starting to come back a little bit.
And I kind of wonder, Frank, if Rominger had been saving this whole time, if he'd just been kind of riding around, making moves when he needs to, and kind of saving his stuff for the end.
That would go very well in line with what we've seen from him all race long, as he is now out to 1.6 seconds of race lead. Is that 4 of Rominger? Rob Haynes here in third. This is a battle for second here between the 48, 99, and 19. Austin Karp, we spoke a lot about him during the last run, but on this set here, he's been lurking in the background, but he has not really made much of an impact the way he had in the runs previous.
Yeah, I feel like he was a short run car there for a while, and then once his run got deeper and deeper and deeper into the run, he kind of just fell off of the face of the earth, essentially. But he's still holding his own back there in the 4th position. He's in line to get the top 5. And the guy, we got 3 coming down pit road.
Yep, all of them coming down.
Oh,
contact. But,
and we got a yellow.
Yep, that's going to be the caution. Austin Karp tried to gain some time on pit entry. Ends up sliding into the side of Rob Haynes.
Man, and that is so rough. And we've talked about it all night long, how tricky this pit road is to get on and off of.
Austin Karp will take the penalty. Pitting under a closed pit. We'll take a look and see what happened here between these two. They go coming down into pit road. See Austin Karp just trying to gain what he can. Back end slides out, and it's a topic of conversation here at Indianapolis every single year around the 500 and now the Brickyard 400 again. How narrow this pit lane entry is, and it wreaks havoc once again.
Yeah, so like I said, time and time again, so these guys are coming off of turn 4, essentially at 150 miles an hour, and you got to slow all the way down to about 55. So one wrong move, and it's game over, man.
Riding with Karp there, he was locked down, trying to do everything that he could to not get into Rob Haynes. We're right on board here with Haynes. Just all of a sudden, I'm going into pit road, and then around I go. Watch I don't hit the end of the wall. Don't bleed up into traffic, and he's going to just say, you know what, I'll pit during the caution.
Yeah.
And one guy who this really benefits, Paul Irvin.
The caution flag was his ally.
back in the race lead, was already on pit road when the caution came out, so no penalty for taking the service. So Paul Irvin is the lucky boy of the day, and Mike Rominger, who's really been his only competition, is going to come out of pit road in P7. So a lot of cars between the 48 and the 4 with about a baker's dozen laps to go when we hit the green.
Yeah, Frank, these guys are going to make a lot of moves that you would not expect these guys to make. But as you said again, Paul Irvin, the benefactor of that spin, so he better go buy Rob Haynes and them guys a steak dinner when this race is over.
Absolutely.
At least give him a shout out in victory lane. Come on.
So it'll be Paul Irvin and Michael Thwaites will be your front row. Ed Morris and Austin Karp will be row number 2, and I guess because the spin was already past the pit entry line, Karp will not get penalized either, so Karp will retain P4. Jacob Jensen, who came in under the caution, John Wimbish, who came in under the caution, will be row 3. Then it'll be Rominger and Robinson will line up in row 4. And the car you saw diving into pit road, it absolutely was David Calo, who we saw have that big spin on lap 30, brought out the caution right as the stage break was coming up, has repaired that car, and is back on track.
Yeah, Frank, I think David Calo gets the Perseverance Award tonight.
Absolutely he does. Well earned as well. Logan Koger, the only driver no longer participating in this race, car number 25, and he was the driver that Calo got tangled up with.
Yeah, as the pace car is bringing them down the back straightaway. We're getting ready to go back to green with about 12 laps, I believe, to go when we hit the green flag here. So these guys are going to warm the tires up. The pit crews are done for the day. Frank, I'm going to tell you this right now. You better pull them belts tight one more time, my friend.
Absolutely. A baker's dozen laps to go. 13 left. When we go green, that is just enough time, by the way, to get into Mike Rominger's window. But he has a lot of cars between himself and Paul Irvin, plus whatever gap Irvin creates here on this restart. Coming out of turn number 4, set to go. Green flag racing once again, and hopefully for the final time tonight. Green flag is in the air. Paul Irvin out to the lead.
Yeah, Paul Irvin's going to drive this field down in turn number 1. Ed Morris Jr. is going to make a move on the inside of Thwaites, and he's bringing Wimbish with him. And Wimbish looks to make it 3 wide, but he's going to think better of it as they come out of 2 and down the short stretch.
Side-by-side racing here behind Paul Irvin is exactly what he needs to see. And by the way, Ed Morris was another driver who was up here running in the top 5 before the incident with the 36 of Josh Wren prior to the last restart. Put him at the back. So Ed Morris gets a second lease on life here in this race.
Yeah, Ed Morris, he's been kind of quiet. He's been, there. He was a comer, he was a goer, and now he's a comer again.
John Wimbish running in 4th. Jacob Jensen in 5th. There is Mike Rominger looking to gain that 6th position on Michael Robinson, needing to push that number 4 a little bit harder now here in the early stages of the run. He does get to the inside of Robinson, and he just does not clear him to take the spot.
Unfortunately, Frank, I think Rominger is going to just run out of laps. He's not going to get up there in time.
Caution came at the worst time for car number 4, certainly, as Jacob Jensen gets up into the 4th spot, passing John Wimbish. Wimbish, by the way, in this 98 car, the highest running debutant here in the race, the 40-year-old from Martinsville, Virginia. Having a very nice showing up here in the top 5 as Robinson and Rominger still side by side. Now Robinson has the inside.
Yeah, you see Robinson and Rominger running pretty hard. As you see Robinson get a little loose. But one thing I want to point out is Jensen at the beginning of this race was all over the place, couldn't drive a straight line to save his life. He got a gun pointed to his head. And he's right there battling in the top 5, running with Wimbish right now.
Absolutely. As Jensen up into P4. Paul Irvin leads by 0.8 of a second. This has been pretty much status quo here in this race. Paul Irvin jumping out to an early lead. Then the middle of the run comes Jacob Jensen coming down pit road.
And you got to wonder if he just stayed out for the track position to get as many points as he possibly could.
I believe he had come in under green, so why he is coming down pit road right now, I'm not entirely sure. As that will give Wimbish the 4th spot back. Rominger now up into the top 5. As Paul Irvin still out in front by about 0.8 of a second with 9.5 laps to go.
Yeah, Frank, I just don't think anybody has anything for Paul Irvin right now. I think he's riding off into the sunset right now, and he's just his car looks like it's been on a rail all night, and it looks like it continues to be on the rails.
The luckiest of the lucky boys. What a time to take that pit stop. Of course, not knowing that the accident's going to happen right behind you. But still, that was very fortunate, as Rob Haynes now makes his way back up into the top 10, passing Kerry Cleaver in the 96.
Yeah, this is another one of those drivers who's been a class of a field tonight. He's made some decent moves. He's went from the back to the front, to the back to the front. But I'm telling you right now, if I'm Paul Irvin after this race, I might have to go buy a lottery ticket. I might go buy a Powerball ticket, and because he got lucky.
2 drivers that did not get lucky from that caution, though, Nicholas Weatherby and Nicholas Caldwell, they were set to be 1st and 2nd, or at least very close to that, if the race had stayed green and the pit cycle had worked itself through. Now they're down in 8th and 9th, as Haynes now looking to the inside. Rob Haynes looking to the inside of Nicholas Caldwell.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty tight battle for Nicholas Caldwell and Rob Haynes. As Haynes is looking to the inside, he's trying to make the move, but he can't quite get underneath them.
Caldwell has been there all night. He hasn't quite had the pace to be able to stay in front of guys like the 99, the 48, or the 4, but he's certainly been around to give them one heck of a race. As now to the inside goes Haynes, does get enough, but not, big slide out of the 99. He will get the move done.
Yeah, that was good textbook driving here at Indianapolis. That's the kind of moves you got to make here, especially late in a race when you got roughly 8 laps to go.
Position change up in the top 5. Mike Rominger has gotten around John Wimbish in that number 98. Michael Thwaites with Ed Morris in very close company. Haven't seen much of Michael Thwaites all race. He's had a very quiet race. He's been right around the top 10. Now up in 2nd thanks to the pit strategy. Coming in on lap 71. Did not pit under this caution.
Yeah, right now Thwaites and Morris are looking for a small miracle that Irvin either spins himself out or has a glitch or something. They're just hoping that, because right now they're going to run out of laps.
Pit strategy for the top 5 as Wimbish hits the wall. Coming out of turn 4, top 3, Irvin, Thwaites, Morris did not pit under this caution flag because they had pit under green. Rominger and Wimbish both did pit under this caution. As Rominger looking to the inside of Morris.
Rominger's past Morris. He's looking for Thwaites for 2nd position. He is pushing that horse hard.
Rominger looking to become the first duplicate winner of this season. Irvin, Thwaites, Morris have not won yet. Come round 7 of this season. Again, Darlington next week. So it'll be one heck of a show in South Carolina, as now here comes Rominger looking to the inside of Michael Thwaites. He now has 5 laps to try to make up a 2.5 seconds and get around Paul Irvin. This is the fight for the win.
And I thought there for a minute he was going to take Ed Morris Jr. with him, but Ed Morris thought better of going to the inside of that 12 car.
Morris just has not been able all run to get to the bottom of Thwaites. Now he does. As Morris looks to the inside, he will hold and he will get position. So the 7 back into third. Isn't that always frustrating as a driver? You make a pass just to get into the same position.
Yes, absolutely.
Boy, and Rominger not messing around either. That was a 1.5 seconds last time around. Rominger has pulled a 0.5 seconds on Paul Irvin. At this rate, he'll have 2 laps to try to pass him.
Yeah, he's got to catch him. That's going to be the hard part, catching him. And then you might be able to get around him.
It's about an even 0.5 seconds between the 4 and the 48, that last lap. And he's not done yet. He's already pulled back a 1/4 second here in just the first 2 turns.
Where did Rominger come from? What did he find on this racetrack that he doesn't, that nobody else knows about?
This is big time danger time right now for Paul Irvin. You'd think there's only 1 tire advantage. Rominger's been a long run car all race. I would have thought there was no way he was going to catch him. If he did, he wouldn't have enough time. It's looking like he's going to have a full extra lap. Gained 0.6, even more this time by 0.7 with the help of the draft.
This is about to get good, Frank, as he's caught Paul Irvin, and he's going to make the move on the inside. He's looking. Nope, he's going to think better of it.
Mike Rominger looking to extend that points lead coming into tonight. Paul Irvin has dominated this race, has led the most laps, blocks him all the way to the grass. Rominger looking to the outside. He is beside him, as not able to get the move done. Still has 2 more laps to go and 10 corners remaining, now 9.
Paul Irvin's got to be perfect right now, as Rominger's going to look again, coming off of turn number 4 and down to the front stretch.
For Irvin, I don't even think perfect is going to be enough with how quickly Rominger was able to catch him. 2 laps to go. Rominger all over the back of the 48. Contacted around goes the 48. Irvin keeps it straight. Into the back of him goes Ed Morris. The caution is going to come out.
That's a tough break for Paul Irvin. That is a tough break. He dominated this race. That quick time. And to have it all come to an end like that on the corner.
Big moment here in this race as the 2 dominant cars collide going into turn 1. Let's take a look at this one more time. So there's the contact. And here comes Ed Morris trying to get around him. Irvin's trying to recollect the car. And just nowhere for Morris to go.
That was being in the wrong spot at the right time for Morris.
On board Morris.
And Morris, you can tell he is on the binders the whole time.
Tried to gas it up, and when he realized that Irvin was starting to straighten the car back up, but then came back and slid up a little bit higher. There's the contact there. And again, just nothing malicious out of Irvin. He's just trying to collect the car again, and Morris just a little bit too late to the wrong party.
Man, you hate to see that for Paul Irvin when he had the car to beat all night. He was just solid. And you just had to know something that was almost like the perfect storm.
And Mike Rominger will get an EOL for causing an incident. So Rominger will be forced to the back. That will give Michael Thwaites the race lead. Couple cars deciding to pit, so it'll be Thwaites, Robinson, and Wimbish will be your top three. Gary Wells and Rob Haynes.
I hate to say it on this, but if I'm Rominger, I would definitely argue that call. I mean, there was nothing malicious about that. It was just hard racing. I mean, they're both going for a win, and I mean, what else are you gonna do?
But I mean, it's also at the same time, you got to think, well, it wouldn't have happened without the bump, and I understand that there's a great speed difference between the two, as we saw to catch him up from a second and a half back in 2 laps. There was a huge speed discrepancy, but you just have to have enough control of your car to be able to not get into him. So if I'm Rominger, as much as I want to argue it, I would still more than understand the penalty.
Yeah, I mean, it's a judgment call. I feel like it's a judgment call. So at any rate, this race, Frank, has changed. It's a new race.
It certainly has, and one driver who has not been up at the front here most of the night has a chance to win this. Michael Thwaites hasn't appeared up at the front until the most recent caution prior to this one. Michael Robinson has been around 10th all night. John Wimbish set a very good short run car, but loses it on the long run. Gary Wells, another driver who spent most of his night around 8th to 12th in that range. And then Rob Haynes currently running in the 5th spot.
Something I want to point out is Edward Morris Sr. He started dead last, shotgun on the field, and he's up there in the top 10. He's broke the top 10.
Ed Morris Sr., this is his calling card. He may not be the fastest driver every week, but he'll find his way to get laps led through the pit cycle and always finds a way to get up and get solid finishes every single week. So this has been another one of those nights for Ed Morris Sr. Doing a very, very good job as we now get set to go on the first green-white checkered attempt here of the evening. Mike Rominger, by the way, back down to 12th. Paul Irvin is back on track. There he is in the 48 now, trying to catch up to the field. Ed Morris done for the day in the 7th. He will not lose a position.
And they've called that one back.
So we're going to be going again here. Give Paul Irvin time to catch back up. That car, I'm sure, off the pace from the big hit in the rear that it took. It's taken him a second to get back up through.
And it gives him time to get his bearings back about himself before we go green here, after taking a hard lick like he did.
Absolutely. Alex Reling, by the way, back on the lead lap. Remember, he was a lap down earlier on. He will be lining up between Paul Irvin and Mike Rominger. Josh Wren on pit road trying to fix damage in the 36. There's Ed Morris sitting on pit road. Tommy Haynes is done in the 17. David Collot still out on track in the 38. He is as high as he is going to get tonight in 17th. Still about 10 laps behind Ed Morris. So he's going to need this race to have multiple green-white checkered attempts.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're only getting 2.
Yep. So
we're only getting 2. But as we digress, the lights on the iRacing pace car are out. And we're getting ready to crank this thing back on up.
Absolutely will. Mike Rominger has decided to come into pit road top off, so he will start from the very back of the line.
Yeah, it's just a tough break for Mike Rominger. He had a good run running for the night, going for him for the night, and just unfortunate circumstances took him out of the running on this one.
Had the best probably all-around car here tonight. decent on the short run, was able to maintain on the short run, was able to really fly on the long run. Contact with himself and Paul Irvin sends the two dominant cars here in the field back fighting for a top 10 finish. As Michael Thwaites and Michael Robinson will start on the front row here and fight for a win. Michael Thwaites, 7th in points coming into this race. Looking for his first win. Michael Robinson, total of 105 points, 26th coming into this race here tonight. Looking for his first win, trying to lock themselves into the playoff race. Michael Thwaites with control over the field. Green flag is in the air. First of two, green-white checkers underway.
And Michael Thwaites is taking Wimbish and Robinson down the turn one there, 2 by 2 by 2. Just keep in mind, if they wreck after the white flag, the next flag wins is the race.
Michael Thwaites out in front. John Wimbish on debut here tonight, currently holding down the second spot, was able to get past Michael Robinson as Gary Wells and Rob Haynes battle side by side down the backstretch.
Here comes Haynes, and he's
Big
battling
dive.
Wells.
Sorry to cut you off there. It
Carp.
was a big dive from Jacob Jensen, and now Austin Karp trying to do the same. He'll get the two spots. Look at Jacob Jensen now around the outside of Rob Haynes.
Yeah, earlier in the race, he couldn't drive that car to save his life, and now he's up there essentially battling for a win.
Big block. All the way down to the bottom. Jensen in the middle. White flag is out. Look at this
And
fight. Robinson gets sent. Jensen to the bottom. Jensen's going to try to recover.
And this might be the race of the night with Austin Karp and Jacob Jensen. Who's going to get that third position? Who's going to get that last podium spot?
Karp trying to hold on the outside line. Jensen's going to try to get the dive going into the corner. He will not be able to clear coming out of turn 3. He's got one more chance in turn 4. He does get the clear. Michael Thwaites, right place, right time, right strategy call, comes off of turn number 4. Michael Thwaites wins here at Indianapolis.
And Jacob Jensen's going to get third.
Just did beat Austin Karp at the line and just did miss out on getting John Wimbish, who on debut finishes second. What a race here at Indianapolis.
Yes, sir. For a race that was essentially a calm race, this one turned out to be a dandy here at the end.
It was calm for a while, but boy, did it get loud come the end of it.
And I believe Thwaites is going to burn it down here on the front stretch.
I would have to say so. And after a race like that, why wouldn't you? As we will have a chat with our race winner here, Michael Thwaites, as he burns it down. Michael, what a run. Found yourself in the right place at the right time. And I'm sure the penalty to Rominger, you weren't hurting about that.
No, I'm pretty happy with the outcome. I'll tell you that.
Tell us about your race here tonight, because right up until that second caution of the night, you were hovering around the 8th to the 12th spot pretty consistently. Found yourself able to not pit, get yourself up to the front. How was that car tonight?
I mean, it was honestly the first two runs it felt really good, but then that second run it got a little tight, and then I was just riding there in fourth, ready to just finish in fourth, and then that caution came out, and I feel bad for Mike. because they were just racing up there. But rules are rules, I guess. So,
Yeah,
and then just drove it at the end there.
Absolutely. We go to Darlington next week. Another pretty difficult racetrack. What are your thoughts going to the Lady in Black next week?
Honestly, I love that track, and I usually run pretty good there. I don't know about Xfinity cars. I haven't run there in a while with them, but it'll be good. I'm looking forward to that, actually, especially coming off a win. So,
Yes, certainly. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, of course. Ricmotech, Ed Morris, everything he does with Extreme, and my teammates aren't here tonight, but Rush Hour, and then everything you guys do in the booth. Thank you.
Your 7th winner in 7 races, Michael Thwaites. Bud, congratulations.
Thank you.
Now go to our 2nd place finisher here tonight on debut. Not a bad debut, John Wimbish. Congratulations on the 2nd place finish.
Yeah, thank you. We had a lot of fun tonight out there. It's a pretty good race for us. Didn't look good there for a while, but we came out looking pretty good here.
You seem to have a really, really good short run car, and then about 7 or 8 laps into the run, you tend to fall back through the field. Was that just not liking the tires? Was there something that the car was doing, or just couldn't figure out a way to hold on to the tires?
That was totally the driver being talentless. I was just overdriving the car there. I'd use up my right front pretty bad. When I'd pit, I'd have like 57% left, and the other guys on my team would have like 70. So I think everybody was running a little different stuff on the steering, and I just went with the default as I normally do. So I think that had a little something to do with it, but just overdriving on my part. I'm not a very good long run guy. I like going as fast as I can.
Fair enough. We go to another track where you're going to have to be quite patient. Darlington next week. What are your thoughts going to South Carolina?
I love Darlington. It's one of my favorite tracks on the service here. So really looking forward to it. It's a driver's track. You really got to take your time and hit your lines really good. Kind of like here. I mean, if you mess up on one end, everybody can get you going down the back stretch or the front stretch. So you got to hit your lines right and make sure you do everything right there and stay off the wall.
All right, anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I just want to thank all the guys here at Extreme for letting me come in and race with them. It's been a while since I raced here with these guys. It's a lot of fun. Congratulations to Michael Thwaites on his win and Jacob for coming in 3rd. Gary, my teammate, came in 5th, so appreciate him bringing me over here, and appreciate you guys putting this on so everybody can watch it.
All right, your 2nd place finisher on debut, John Wimbish. Bud, congratulations.
Thank you.
Now we'll go to our 3rd place finisher here tonight, Jacob Jensen. Jacob, well, you had a wild ride in the first part of the race. Calmed down, started to really work the runs out, and then you made some incredibly gutsy moves towards the end of this race, man. Oh, Jacob, you there? There we are.
I'm there.
All right. You had a little bit of a wild ride here in the first little bit of the race. Then you were able to calm down. But, boy, did you make some gutsy moves there towards the end of this race.
Just here for a show. Can't say anything more.
You certainly gave it to us. Going 3 wide early on, and then at the last lap, how difficult is it to try to pull off a move like that, knowing how tight and how narrow the line is here around Indy?
Yeah, it isn't easy, but it's what we're given, and I'm going to do the best I can. So.
Well, you certainly did just that. Next week we go to another tight, narrow racetrack at Darlington. What are your thoughts going into Darlington next week?
It's a really interesting track, just due to all the history and stuff, and I'm excited. It's a lot of, I feel like it's going to play to my strong suits, so. Super excited.
All right, anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
No, I don't think I do. I want to thank you guys for putting on an amazing show and have a nice one.
All right, thank you very much. Your third place finisher tonight, Jacob Jensen. Bud, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, Alan, that will pretty much put a bow on this evening. And boy, what a race we were treated to here tonight at Indianapolis.
Yeah, that finish right there was worth the price of admission alone. And I'm just super fortunate to be able to do this with you guys. I mean, it was my debut on the calling these races along with John's debut in racing. And so I think we got a whale of a show tonight. I look forward to calling more races in this league. I think these are great group of guys to be racing with all up and down the field.
Yep, absolutely. And again, we go to Darlington next week, the middle of a 3-week run before Christmas, Darlington and then Kansas in 2 weeks' time. 150 laps at Darlington next week. It's going to be a tough task for these drivers, especially in these Xfinity cars.
Yeah, and those guys next week at Darlington, they're going to have to practice a lot of patience. They're going to run a lot of laps there to get ready. The cars are going to slip and slide, and you're going to see some Darlington stripes there as we go to the track that's too tough to tame.
Absolutely will. We'll take a look here now at the finishing results here for tonight's race. Michael Thwaites comes away with the first win. Again, the seventh different winner in 7 races here tonight. John Wimbish, Jacob Jensen, Austin Karp, Gary Wells, your top 5. Kerry Cleaver, Alex Reling, Ed Morris Sr., Michael Robinson, and Mike Rominger into the top 10. Nicholas Caldwell, Paul Irvin, Rob Haynes, Nicholas Weatherby, and Josh Wren rounding out the top 15. Ed Morris, David Colo, Tommy Haynes, and then rounding out the field was Logan Koger. That will do it for the 19 drivers here today. Haynes and Koger, the only two not reaching the checkered flag here tonight. So that will do it for us here this evening from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. For my broadcast partner, Alan Bergen, I am Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening. We will see you all next week at the Darlington Raceway in Darlington, South Carolina. But until then, as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.